Hello, everyone. Welcome to another broadcast. My name is Melissa Favela, and I'm the community educator for Southern Caregiver Resource Center. Thank you for joining me in another live stream event. Today's live stream will be very special because it is November, and in November we celebrate National Family Caregivers Month. So to all of you family caregivers who are watching this live stream right now, we honor you and we are here to help you. So make sure that you are comfortable, hopefully, that you have somewhere to write down notes. And this live stream, we hope that it's going to be somewhat of a reference source for you because we will be talking about how technology can help in caregiving. So the title for today's presentation is Digital Toolkit, Supporting Family Caregivers with Online Resources. So let's get started. Our learning objectives for today will be to identify the current technologies in caregiving, learn about the importance of evaluating the validity of online resources, and we will go through our very own Southern Caregiver Resource Center's iCare portal via our website. So hopefully you get out a lot of information out of this. Now, let's start off with some statistics when it comes to technology use in caregiving. In a survey done in 2022 by AARP, they found that 8 out of 10 caregivers report using technology in their caregiving roles at least once per month. However, they did find that these statistics will vary depending on the age of the caregiver. The same survey found that baby boomers did not really use a lot of technology, and that millennials or Gen X caregivers did use technology almost daily. So we see that reflected here. For caregivers who were 65 and younger, they felt more comfortable using smartphones, computers, and the internet in general. And caregivers who were 65 and older, less than half report being comfortable using smartphones, computers, and the internet. So we see some opposites here. And they also noticed in this survey that there was less comfort across all ages using newer assistive technologies. What does that mean? Well, in this case, they were referring to, for example, Siri, Alexa, things like that, where it was more than just using your smartphone, more than just using the internet. So a little bit less comfortable with these newer technologies. Additionally, in a report by the SCRCs, so the Caregiver Resource Centers, we did see an increase of social media followers and interactions between the year 2022 and 2023. This means that more caregivers are engaging in social media as part of their caregiving roles. Next slide, please. So we're going to talk a little bit about the most common current use of technology. Some of these top ones are deliveries. It could be food deliveries, household supplies, and of course we saw an increase of the use of these through COVID. Right, but it seems that they have stayed as part of the caregiving role. So whether it be using apps to order food or using the internet in general, deliveries have become one of the most commonly used of technology for caregivers. Additionally, prescription refills. So now a lot of the healthcare providers have their own apps. So that makes it very easy for family caregivers to reorder prescription refills, or sometimes even if it's through the phone, it's very automated and very easy to do, instead of having to physically go to a pharmacy, order a refill, wait for the refill. Additionally, we see a lot of videos, a lot of how-tos, a lot of educational videos. Again, this used to be in person a lot of the times, but with COVID, a lot of it had to be transferred to the internet. And again, it just seems to be something that stays. And as family caregivers with not a lot of extra time, or if any at all, this is much more convenient and time saving for them. Additionally, virtual communication, right? Video conferencing, webinars. We see that webinars are very popular because, again, it's at the comfort of your own home or on your phone. And similar to today's broadcast right now, a lot of them stay recorded on the internet. So really, virtual communication is a big part of it. Video conferencing as well. During COVID, a lot of people learned how to use Zoom, learn how to do video calls, because it was the only way where they could maintain those connections. And now we see that it has stayed. For example, for long distance family caregivers, this is something that can allow them to continue and be part of their caregiving roles. Next slide, please. Now, these are some of the pros of technology use. Again, it's not a complete list of all of the pros, but definitely some of the highlights. And I mentioned earlier, having information at the fingertips, right? That has become something that I think most of us have become accustomed to. If we don't know something, what do we do a lot of the times? We go to our computers or we pull out our phone and we search for it. And a lot of the things that we search for are related to education, right? We need to educate ourselves when we're family caregivers, whether it be to learn more about the condition that our care receiver has or something else. Additionally, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the healthcare providers now have apps. This means that caregivers can have sensitive health information at their own fingertips. They can review the medications, they can order medications, they can send a message to the care receiver's provider through an app, through the phone. So all of this really is a big pro when it comes to technology use. Additionally, as I also mentioned, for those long distance caregivers, there are now care management softwares that they can get together with the rest of the caregivers and organize themselves. They can do video conferencing. They can order the food that the care receiver needs because they're at a distance, right? So they can just order it through their phone. So this really makes the role of the long distance caregiver much more present and easy. Additionally, there are a lot of medical alert systems. I'm not going to go through them, but I am going to mention that they are there to help seniors or care receivers to continue living independently for longer, and thus reducing caregiver burden. So that may be an option for some family caregivers. And for safety, right? We have caller ID. We're able to block calls that are undesired. We're able to save our contacts as we can identify them. And same thing for our care receivers. If they are using their phones, if they are using technology, we can have some sort of safety net for them as well. And home monitoring systems. And this can be through a company. It could be through, any type of home monitoring system that you purchase or prefer, but they can also help us feel safer when it comes to our caregiving roles. Next slide, please. Now, with all of those pros being said, there are also cons of technology use. These, again, are some of the highlights, if you will, not a complete list, but misinformation. We see misinformation almost everywhere. So we have to be aware that there's a possibility that we might be looking at something that is misinforming. So we do need to know that this exists, and we need to sift through what we are believing or consuming through technology. And I'll talk about this in a few slides. Additionally, connectivity issues. We all depend on the internet, or most of us do, for a lot of things. So there is always the possibility of having connectivity issues, and we have to basically go through them, or sometimes deal with these issues. So that's a con that we don't necessarily have control over. Also, difficulty adapting to new technologies. We saw this in the statistics slide, right? It seems that people who are 65 and older have a little bit more trouble using technology. We see that 65 and younger use it more, but even though, because technology is continuously evolving and we're continuously developing new technologies, we'll see that the pattern will repeat itself with those people who are not as used to the newer technologies. So the difficulty adapting to new technologies can be a challenge and a con when it comes to caregiving. And as we said in the last slide, safety is a pro of technology. We have caller ID, security systems. Well, the opposite side of it can be identity theft, right? If we are not tech savvy, if we are not careful where we put our information, how we store it, that does make us a little bit more prone to identity theft, which the FBI has said that it's a big problem in California, in the United States in general. So again, just understanding that these are some of the cons and taking steps to try to weather them as best as possible. Next slide, please. So now that we have explored the use of technology, the pros, the cons, how it relates to our caregiving responsibilities, can you think of a different way in which you use technology to help you in your caregiving role? Or maybe how technology can help you if you're not currently using it? And I leave these questions for you to ponder, to think, and even if it's something that you want to pursue, right? So there's a lot of different ways in which caregivers can use technology for their benefit. Next slide, please. Now, I did mention misinformation a couple of slides ago. Now, when it comes to that, when it comes to us as caregivers searching for information, we want to make sure that we are avoiding misinformation, basically. And it sounds easy enough, but it could be a lot more intricate and it could take a lot more practice sometimes. So we have to ask ourselves, is the information that I'm seeing, that I'm consuming, credible? Well, some of the things that you can do to start practicing this, if you're not practicing it yet, you can start asking yourself, well, who provided the information? Where is it coming from, right? Is the person speaking on behalf of an reputable organization? Is the doctor who's on TV and talking about something? What type of doctor are they, right? Similar things like that. So you can always ask, who is providing the information? We can also ask ourselves, is the information that they're providing biased, right? Are they almost serving a purpose for an ad? And if you're familiar with social media, you'll see that a lot of the ads that we see now seem very organic, but they might be biased, right? So we always want to ask ourselves, is the information that I'm receiving biased? Is it for my benefit? Things like that. if we're looking through articles, research articles, anything like that, we also want to take a look at the date of publication. We want to make sure that we're seeing the most updated information as possible, because of course, when it comes to, for example, health conditions, new information, because there's always studies happening, new information is always surfacing. So we want to look at when it was published. The source of reputation, right? Is it a reputable source? Are we talking to people who know about the topic? Things like that can really make us feel that the information is credible. Additionally, if we're searching the internet, we might want to look at the domain, something as simple as that. Are we looking at a .gov website, .org website, or something different, right? So that is something that we want to consider. And a lot of the times, if we are not sure where information is coming from, or maybe we don't even know where to start searching, it's always a good idea to talk to the care receiver's medical provider, right? If it's related to caregiving. So that might be a good starting point for the medical provider to show you in which direction where to go. Next slide, please. So, speaking of information and reputable sources and evidence-based information, Southern Caregiver Resource Center has been providing the free supportive services that we offer for 37 years. We are the leading nonprofit organization in San Diego and Imperial counties. And as such, we pride ourselves in having a whole section that provides information to family caregivers. We call this section iCare Portal because it is all on our website. So you see here we have Caregiver Corner, podcast, caregiver classes, digital newsletter, and we will go through these sections because I want you as a family caregiver to feel comfortable knowing that there's a lot of information out there for you, free at your fingertips. So let's get started with that. So our website here, as you can see, this is what it would look like as soon as you log in. And you can just put on the search bar scrc.care, and this will be the face of our website. So as you can see, we do have a series of tabs about us if you'd like to know more about our organization, programs, services. But the iCare portal is really where I want us to land. So as you see there, we have a menu, and you can see that we have podcasts, live stream, caregiver classes, and other sections. So we will go through them one by one so that you feel more comfortable when you go to our website. So as you can see here, we have our podcast called Let's Talk Caregiving. During this podcast, is released once a month. So each episode highlights a different guest, at which Martha and Roberto, the podcast hosts, talk with them. And these are all topics related to family caregiving. For example, and as you can see here, we're scrolling through all of the different episodes that we have. You can listen to these podcast episodes on our website, or you can download them wherever you listen to podcasts. For example, we had, for the month of November, Dr. Paula Desplatz from UCSD Shiley Marcos Alzheimer's Disease Research Center talking to Marta and Roberto. So we have a variety of guests and topics that you can learn from. And additionally, we know that family caregivers don't have extra time. So podcasts are really an easy way to receive information while we're driving or while we're doing other tasks. So if you have a mobile device, if you have a computer, you can always listen to our podcast. Now we are going to go on to the live stream caregiver classes. So similar to today's broadcast, we have a variety of classes available on many different topics. So if you see here on this page, they are completely free. And these broadcasts are once a month as well. And we alternate between English and Spanish. So we have different topics. And you can find these classes in Facebook, you can find them in YouTube, and you can always sign up for these ahead of time so that you know that they're happening. So here we clicked on our YouTube page. And as you can see, you can scroll down and look at all the different classes that we have on a wide variety of topics. So really, if there is maybe a topic that you're looking for, more information about a certain topic, you can go through our YouTube channel and see if it's available. And again, this is at the comfort of your own home, at your own fingertips. So you can see all of the classes that we offer. And like I said, if you are interested in keeping up with these classes, you can sign up ahead of time. We always have the newest class on our website, so you can always sign up and be reminded. Next, we have our Caring for the Caregiver. Caring for the Caregiver is our space on our website where we focus on self-care activities for dementia caregivers, right? We know that these are types of caregiving that can be very long, very challenging, very difficult, and we see this daily that caregivers can start neglecting themselves. So this section is specifically for self-care activities for you as a family caregiver. There are 6 total, and all you have to do is click on either the link for YouTube, and you can go through these activities. So they're shorter videos, but they really walk you through the self-care. Next, we have our Caregiving Corner. And our Caregiving Corner videos, they are a series of very quick 1 or maybe 2-minute videos that are just information for family caregivers. And they're brought to you by our very own Executive Vice President, Martha Rañón. And all you have to do is click on that button there. We have 3 seasons, and you can go through all of these very short but very important informational videos on different topics related to caregiving. The reason why we made them 1 to 2 minutes is, again, because we know that family caregivers may not have the time to watch a full hour of a live stream, but they may have 5 minutes to watch 1 or 2 of these videos. So they are designed for those family caregivers with not a lot of time available to them. And these are 3 full seasons with evidence-based information. Next, we have our Empowering Caregivers series. So Empowering Care Videos is a very special and of course free animated video series that is designed to help caregivers not just learn, but also have recall of the information that they learn. So this is the landing page on our website, and we have the training available in English and in Spanish. But I also want to mention that if you have a smartphone, you can also access this information via your smartphone. So same thing, you can go to our website through your smartphone, click on our iCare portal tab, Empowering Caregivers, and you'll see that it's the same page here with the same information. You'll still have it available in English, in Spanish, and these are about 15-minute videos They're animated, so they help with the recall. And really, these are there to help caregivers manage certain things or learn about certain things. For example, how to manage challenging behaviors, how to prepare for a doctor's appointment, how to communicate with someone who has dementia. So these, again, evidence-based and culturally adapted videos. So if you have any questions, we have even a section for you to explore a little bit more. And all you have to do is simply sign up, and you'll be able to access these videos at your own time. You can watch them as you're able to. So it's very easy. Again, you could do it via our website or via your phone in case, let's say, you're waiting at a doctor's appointment for the care receiver. You got there a little bit earlier, but you have your phone with you. Well, maybe it's a moment where you can learn something, where you can spend those maybe 10-15 minutes watching reliable information. Next, we have our newsletters. So our newsletter is called Wavelengths, and it's an excellent source of information, not just for information related to events, but also other tidbits of information about caregiving, right? So our newsletter has different sections, and as you can see here, you can explore all of our previous newsletters. And of course, I would encourage you to sign up. It's very easy. As you can see there, there's a button. All you have to do is include your email, and that way you can be updated about the live streams that are happening, about events that are going on, about information. So really, the newsletter is an excellent way of keeping in touch with us and staying updated on anything related to family caregiving. The last little tab you'll see there is SCRC in the community. So this tab shows the different ways and all the different connections we try to make with the community. So you can always click on our past community collaborations and see SCRC in action in the community. So if you don't know a lot about SCRC, maybe this is a great way of really learning more about us and understanding that we are all about making those community connections and providing our free supportive services to family caregivers. Additionally, I want to highlight that because we provide information free, of course, if you go to Programs and Services tab, you will see that we have all of the information there about us. But I want to highlight here that if you're looking for reliable, evidence-based information, we have caregiving fact sheets. So as you can see here, we have a lot of them. We have them on different topics, and of course, everything is related to family caregivers or caregiving. And all of these are completely free. So you can look at them, but you can also print them if you learn more through actually touching the paper, reading it. That is available to you as well. So you can see here how you can read through the fact sheets, but if you feel that you want it printed or you want it as a reference, you can also do that. And again, all of this information is completely free. You can look at the references of where the information comes from. So very, very useful, and again, available at your fingertips. And the last thing I want to highlight here is that because SCRC is in a very special area. We're in a border area, and we know that San Diego County is a very multicultural. It's a very diverse area, and a big part of the community is the Spanish-speaking community. We do offer a lot of information in Spanish as well. So as you can see here, we have a Spanish and Espanol tab where you can look at all of our different resources that we offer, the services that we offer, similar to the English tab, but in Spanish. So if you yourself are caregiving for someone who speaks Spanish, or part of your caregiving team speaks Spanish, don't worry, because we also have information available to caregivers who speak Spanish. And here we see that we have the fact sheets, but they're available in Spanish. So we honor the community that we serve, and we try to make this information as available as possible in Spanish as well. So really, we try to be not just evidence-based, but also culturally adaptive to the community that we serve. So as I mentioned, we went through our iCare portal, and I also want to highlight that at our website, you can also find the other services that we offer: family consultations, support groups, individual counseling. So I want to highlight that not just is our education part of our company, of our organization, available online, but also a lot of the services that we offer are available online. Of course, the transition pushed a lot of organizations to do this through COVID, but we do it because we know that family caregivers don't have a lot of time. So for a lot of them, it's easier, for example, to have an individual counseling session virtually instead of going into the office to do an in-person individual counseling. So I do want to mention that a lot of our services are available virtually and not just in person. And again, our services are available in English and in Spanish. So we are very proud to offer that for family caregivers. Next slide, please. Same thing with our TLC class. So if you're not familiar with our caregiver TLC class, this is a free class, and it's a series of classes that is for those family caregivers who are caring for someone who has memory loss, Alzheimer's, or another form of dementia, because we know that these are long-term caregiving responsibilities. They get harder as time goes by, as the condition progresses. But this is evidence-based, so we know that this class works, and it's culturally adaptive because we do have its counterpart in Spanish called Calma. And I also want to highlight that TLC is available virtually. So again, trying to cater to those family caregivers who have a harder time maybe leaving their home due to their caregiving responsibilities. Now, what TLC is, it's a program that provides caregivers with self-care strategies, tools, coping strategies. Of course, they learn about the condition of dementia, of Alzheimer's, but really this class is focused for the caregiver to give them tools to to take care of their well-being, to be as healthy as possible. So all of it is with the focus of self-care practices. So if this is a class that you're interested in, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, I want to mention that it is an evidence-based class, and it is a culturally adaptive class. Next slide, please. Additionally, you can also connect with us and learn information via our social networks. So as you see here, we are very active in Facebook, Instagram. You can connect with us via LinkedIn. As you saw earlier, we have a lot of information in our YouTube channel. This is our Facebook page. So not only are we showing, let's say, our live streams there, we're also showcasing other information that is relevant for family caregivers. And as you see, this is also where you can listen to our podcast. So we have a lot of information available to you. Now you're seeing on our screen our Instagram, where we're highlighting what is going on with our organization and also tidbits of information. You can also be aware of self-care practices, suggestions through our social media. So really, if you're not following us, we have the handles right there underneath for you to connect with us. So if you have a moment, feel free to take out your phone and start following us now. Now, some things to consider as we maybe incorporate or use technology in our caregiving roles. What works for a caregiver when it comes to technology use may not work for another caregiver. So feel free to explore and adopt technology that suits your needs as a caregiver. So we do encourage people to explore, and if there's a caregiving team, even discuss what might work best for all of you. Another thing to consider would be online safety as a priority. And this is especially true not just for the family caregiver, but also for the care receiver if they continue to have access to technology. We want to make sure that we are sufficiently tech savvy, that we are browsing online safely or as safely as possible. So if online safety is not something that you had considered in the past, maybe this is something to consider now, or again, discuss with your caregiving team if there is one. And additionally, in this technological age, it's important to balance the use of technology with the use of personal interactions. So with this being said, connecting through the internet, as useful and wonderful as it is, it doesn't replace that human contact, right? So if you are a family caregiver and maybe you notice that a lot of your interactions are online and maybe you're feeling a little bit isolated, well, maybe it's time to at least try to step out and establish that human connection, that contact. So these are just things to consider. What works for some family caregivers may not work for others. So I highly encourage you to really explore what works for you and for your care receiver, and be responsible when using technology, but really using it for the benefit of your caregiving role. Hopefully technology helping you make this role easier to manage, and really it's an amazing learning tool when it comes to finding information. We just have to learn how to use it and understand that we need to be careful about it sometimes. So just a few things to consider, but all in all, a positive use of technology for family caregivers. So last but not least, if you want to contact us, you can go to our website and send us a message there. So www.caregivercenter.org. If you are interested in visiting the iCare portal on your own time, or maybe you have used it, but maybe you weren't familiar with all of the sections, go to our website and feel free to browse around to really take a look at all of the information that we have available for free at your own fingertips. Also, if you want to get in touch with us for another reason and you want to have that human connection and speak to someone, you can call us toll free at 800-827-1008, or you can call us at 858-268 4432. We will answer your phone call Monday through Friday, 8 in the morning to 5 in the afternoon. If for any reason we're not able to answer your call, feel free to leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And with the holidays quickly approaching, if you give us a call during a holiday, we will give you a call as soon as possible on our next workday. So don't be shy and feel free to contact us. And thank you all so much for being with me here today, and I hope to see you next month. Have a great day.